back. I hope you're doing good. Some days ago, I asked you guys in my Instagram story if you would like to share with me some struggles you have with self care and self love. First of all, there were so many people that participated, way more than I expected. So, thank you, I guess. That was nice. Today, I thought we're doing a quick Q&A with the questions that were asked the most. I chose 4 struggles that represented really well the struggles that you mentioned. For every struggle, we ask yourself, why does it happen? What are the psychological tools that we can use and other tips that you can put in action right away? First struggle we're going to talk about is being insecure. Felt that one to my core. Why are we feeling insecure? There can be root causes like, I feel like the glasses really reflect in a way that is not nice for you to watch. There can be a root cause. Insecurity often comes from a low self-esteem, a fear of rejection, or a history of criticism. This history of criticism can stem from internal criticism or external criticism. Through comparison. When you're comparing yourself to others, especially on social media, you can have feelings of not being enough, therefore feel insecure. What are the psychological tools we can use? First off, we have the CBT. CBT stands for Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. CBT in general helps people to identify and challenge the insecurities and their self-perception, which is negative in this case. A thing that they probably would ask you to do is to write down your negative thoughts and to question the accuracy of those negative thoughts. This one is kind of interesting because first off, you're visualizing your negative thoughts and then you're asking yourself, is this real? You're reflecting on your negative thought and not just accepting it. Self-compassion. Christine Neff stands for self-compassion, we could say. She did a lot of researches, and her researches highlight the importance of treating yourself in a nice way, especially during hard moments. Practicing self-compassion reduces negative self-talk and negative criticism. What can we do in this moment? Have a journal, a wins journal. We're writing down all of the good things, all of the achievements you did today, this week, the positive feedback you got at work, at school, at university, from home, just to get a picture of all of the good things in your life. Often we tend to see, when we're insecure, we tend to see the negative things in ourselves and around us. Second thing would be to set yourself goals that are achievable and therefore maybe smaller. A weekly goal of mine is to go to the gym at least 3 times. That's achievable for me. And when I do, I feel good about myself because I set myself a goal and I achieved it. Limit your time. Your time is so precious. You need to limit your time comparing yourself to others, especially your online time. The second struggle we're talking about is to prioritize yourself when you're feeling really low. So why does it happen? It could be that there is a general lack of energy and emotion this day. We see that often in people with depression or burnout. These conditions really drain your mental and physical energy. Maybe it happens because of guilt. Many people feel really selfish when they try to prioritize themselves. Maybe you feel like everything and everyone has a higher priority than yourself, which is not true, but that could be a cause that maybe this thought process leads you to feel guilt when you try to prioritize yourself. We have the so-called behavioral action. When you're feeling really low and you want to change the situation, you want to activate your body and yourself again, start with small things. Try to sit in your bed instead of lying in your bed. Then, after achieving that, try to stand up from your bed and just stretch for a bit, maybe, to slowly start take action again. This maybe sounds like some little thing that would be like kind of obvious, but trust me, this one really helps. Another psychological tool would be the so-called radical acceptance. The radical acceptance, again, stems from the DBT. You're accepting difficult feelings without judging them. You're just accepting. You're just acknowledging that they're there, but you don't judge them. You don't evaluate them. And then we have you probably know it, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is so random, but every time we're talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs in university or, I don't know, with friends, I always get the memory of reading The Fault in Our Stars, where Hazel talks about her condition and Maslow's hierarchy of needs, criticizes it, and says that even though she has a physical condition, she is allowed to have needs that are on a higher hierarchy. I don't know why. It's more than 10 years ago that I read this book, but it still is in my mind. Maslow's hierarchy of needs in this situation could help you when you try to focus on your basic needs first, to drink, to eat, that day you fulfill your basic needs or your needs in this situation, you're also taking care of yourself. So what can we do? It's good if you could start with micro steps. Drink water, take a step outside, or stretch for some minutes to get a sense of awareness. You could also create a so-called self menu. This self-care menu would be a list of small, low-effort things you could do when you're again in this situation. Next time you're in this situation, you already know, okay, I've been there, I've overcame it. What can I do? What helped me the last time? Delegate your tasks and maybe also ask for help if you're feeling overwhelmed with your task. The third of four struggles is when you're feeling not good enough. Felt that one to my core again. When I was still in high school, I couldn't care less about academic things. But right now in university, I'm putting so much pressure on myself. I feel like I define my self-worth with some kind of degree. Why does it happen? Oftentimes it is perfectionism. Perfectionism also implies you having a high achievement mindset, which isn't bad in general, I'd say. But the pressure you put on yourself because of this mindset really can impact you and make you feel like you're not enough. Hustle culture or productivity culture stems on productivity. So that could put pressure on yourself, and the so-called imposter syndrome. That would be me, probably. Imposter syndrome implies that you're feeling unworthy of your achievements. What are the psychological tools? Mindfulness-based stress reduction. Mindfulness really could change the way you're aware, the way you perceive yourself, your world, your surroundings. It's really interesting. You will feel a reduction in stress when you are doing mindfulness. To reframe success. What does success even mean to you? Another thing that also helped me a lot is practicing gratitude. When you count your blessings and not your failures or the negative things in your life, it really changes the way you see yourself and the world. Practical tips. The rule of 3. Each day, you try to identify 3 things you did good on that day, things you achieved. Doesn't matter how small they are, how big or small they are, because we need to reframe success, right? Do not make your identity depend on your productivity. You're so much more than that. Fourth and last struggle we're going to talk about is how can we balance work life with mental health? Why does it happen? Could be that there are blurred boundaries between your private life and mental health and your work life. We often see that in remote jobs. When you're working from home, it's kind of obvious that the boundaries between your work life and your private life are getting blurred. Another cause could be overcommitment. You're overloading yourself. The third cause could be stress spillover. Stress we're confronted with at work often spills over into our private life. What are the psychological tools here? Boundary setting. Set a strict and clear boundary between private life and work life. Set clear work hours. You could use tools like the Eisenhower metrics here. I hope so. You get an overview of the urgent things you need to do right now and the things that may wander your mind but aren't really urgent. Stress management strategies would also be interesting. Regular physical activity, for example. Deep breathing exercises or mindfulness meditations can buffer stress. What can we do now? There is the so-called 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it right away. If you're not doing it right away, all of these little things, they can add up. Then you're overwhelmed, obviously. Schedule yourself non-negotiable self-care time. That could be anything. Reading, meditation, go for a run, do skincare, anything that helps you. Practice disconnecting. On really all of the devices that are connected with work when you're done with work for that day. That's already it for this video, this episode. I really hope it was a kind of help for some of you. It was really interesting to hear struggles you're confronted with. Sometimes you can be so caught up with your struggles, so that was nice. See you in the next one. Bye.